From the station that's on your side, this is Channel 7 News Good Morning Arkansas.
I am so excited to be joined by fashion designer Jude Connally Zimmerman, and we are speaking to you today because you're actually going to be headlining this year's Baptist Health Bolo Bash Luncheon, which is always such a big deal for this community. So we are thrilled to have you join us. First of all, just tell us a little bit about your story and growing up in New York and starting your fashion line.
Ainsley, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to be being a part of such an incredible event this year. I guess starting out, I grew up in upstate New York in the middle of 7 children, proudly, from Irish-Italian parents. And so I grew up in a small little town. At the age of 16, I decided I wanted to find my first job, and I was lucky enough to start working in a clothing company that sold blue jeans. And way back when, 40 years ago, young women didn't really wear blue jeans, but I had the opportunity to introduce denim jeans to young women. And I had an experience that was so profound that it led me to where I am today, which is I had a young mom bring in her daughter who was a little bit overweight. And she said, they're making these young girls jeans. And do you think you could help me find a pair of jeans for my daughter? And I said, I will do my best to try. And lo and behold, many moments later, we put a pair of beautiful jeans on this young gal. She came out of the fitting room. She looked at me. I looked at her. I had a moment and I realized this is what I'm meant to do, is help women feel good about themselves. And 30 years later, I found myself creating my own line of clothing that was really all about how do I help women feel good about themselves when they're wearing their clothing.
Wow. Yes, we love to hear that. And you did this while, starting your family, raising your family, right?
Yes. So I graduated high school. I went to the Fashion Institute of Technology. I took a beeline and didn't study fashion. I studied interior design because I love color and print. I grew up in upstate New York and it was very gray and I loved the sunshine. And so I found myself very drawn to color and print. But lo and behold, I didn't find interior design was my passion, nor was school. I wanted to get out in the world and I wanted to be around fashion. So I had an opportunity to work in another retail store in New York City, and that propelled a career in sales and marketing. And then 9/11 happened, and I was the mother of small boys, and I decided to stay home. And then I opened a clothing store in my town where 6 women had lost their husbands. And I found myself again in a situation where I was now clothing the women for events that they had around 9/11. And that left a profound effect on me too, because once again, I found helping women feel comfort in their clothing was so important when they had to do what they had to do. And then once I decided that a clothing store was too small, I had an epiphany. And I thought, if I could make a line of clothing that was specific to what I believed were the needs of women, which is easy care, easy wear, comfort, pretty, then I could do that. So raising 2 small children, I decided to try my hand at fashion, and I did, and it was sort of miraculous. I would say it's divine intervention. All things came together, my sales and marketing experience, plus being so close to New York City, I found factories that could actually cut and sew beautiful prints, and we made a line of dresses and skirts that were just easy care, no buttons, no zipper, put it on and go. And 12 years later, we are shipping lots of specialty stores. We have our own e-commerce site, and we, of course, have partnered with Dillard's, and we do a full collection for Dillard's as well.
Well, I love your prints and designs and all the bright colors. As you can see, I'm wearing my pink today. It's my favorite color. So big fan of what you're making there. Well, of course, proceeds from this year's Bolo Bash Luncheon actually will be used to renovate and expand Baptist Health's NICU. So yes. Why was this something that you wanted to be a part of?
Well, my motherhood has been so important to me. And I, again, being raised by a mom with 7 children, I have a wonderful mother and I was blessed to have that. And so I always becoming a mom was so important to me. My son, Jake, who's 28 today, was born in the NICU. He was born 9 days early with respiratory distress. And I had a personal experience with a NIC unit in New Jersey. And boy, did that make a difference in my life and the beginning of my motherhood. And thankfully for them, I was able to bring my son home and raise a wonderful young man. And so that is why doing the Bolo Bash was such an honor for me to be asked to participate in it, because it has such a wonderful meaning to me. And I'm grateful to be able to dress these women who will be our models, women that are affiliated with the NICU. So very proud to be able to be a part of this.
Explain more into that of what can we expect to experience at this year's Bolo Bash?
It's really exciting. We have 14 women that have either been involved in the NICU, either their children have been in the NICU or they're nurses or doctors, but all 14 women are real women from the community that have either touched the lives of moms like myself, or they are moms who have been in a situation where they too have needed comfort and love and care. So we're going to be dressing those women, and I think we're going to be doing a little profile on their background, on who they are, and what their involvement is with the hospital as well.
And how can people purchase tickets for the Bolo Bash?
They can go online at baptisthealthfoundation.org, or they can go by calling the foundation at 501-202-1839.
And of course, you had mentioned that you have a great relationship with Dillard's. Of course, they are the presenting sponsor for this luncheon. And just how can people find your clothing and your lines?
Well, you can go into Dillard's in Little Rock, and we are in the designer department, and we have a beautiful department. And my name, Jude Connally, which is the label. In the store, you can find a beautiful display of all our current fashions. And there's wonderful salespeople that will help you and assist you and find you the perfect Jude Connally piece.
Well, Jude, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and so looking forward to seeing you on October 12th at the Baptist Health Bolo Bash Luncheon. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Ainsley. Look forward to seeing you.
And we'll have more Good Morning Arkansas after the break.